Hi, I'm Pete Gluszek from the Bass University, and I'm here today to talk to you about Cashion rods. These are amazing, built in America fishing rods. Not only do I think they're an amazing fishing rods, but they're the rods that I use every day when I'm teaching people how to fish through the Bass University, and when I'm out on the tournament trail, I use these rods. I use a variety of rods, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the rods that I really like and how I use them. This particular rod is one of my favorites. I'm finding it to be very, very versatile. It's actually their Carolina rig fishing rod. It's the CR 906 7.6. It's designed for Carolina rig fishing, but guess what? I definitely use it for that, and I use it for a lot of other things. And one of the things I really like to do with this rod is I like to fish finesse jigs with this rod. 3/8, quarters, and this is even a 1/2 ounce, but they're small. They're downsized jigs. They're not full size. I use these a lot. These jigs get bit in scenarios where sometimes the bigger jigs can't draw strikes. These will still catch them. They'll catch big fish. They'll catch numbers of fish. So I like these little jigs. They're very versatile. Tungsten, 1/2 ounce of lead on this particular one. It makes it really easy to flip and pitch with my CR 906. And it gets to the habitat really well. Like, I'm in a situation right now, we got a lot of rain. Everybody around the country's had a lot of rain this year, and we have tons of current. Well, that little tungsten finesse jig with the heavy 1/2 ounce, it allows me to get my bait to the habitat and stay on the habitat and not get washed downstream by the current. So that's one of the reasons I really like this. And it's this rod setup for this little finesse jig is perfect, because when I'm fishing finesse jigs, I want you to look at something right here. Is my hook. My hook is about a 3/0, but it's a lighter wire. It's not a heavy gauge wire that you might find on a normal flipping jig. Okay, so if I try to use my flipping stick with the finesse jig, I'm going to overpower this bait. I can bend my hook. I can lose fish. That's what the beauty of the CR 906 is it's a powerful rod, right? It's got good, decent backbone, but it's not a pool cue flipping stick designed to punch heavy cover or that type of stuff. So it's not just for Carolina rig fishing. It's an excellent tool to be fishing a finesse jig. I rig it. This is a Lew's speed spool. It's a 7-to-1 gear ratio reel. I have 20-pound test Gamma Edge fluorocarbon. This is what I love to pitch and flip with. I could do this all day, every day. It's so simple. It's so smooth. The fluorocarbon at 20-pound test is strong enough that I can fish in the wood habitat, stuff that even has barnacles or zebra mussels. So and it enables me to handle a really, really big fish. 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds. This is going to be more than capable of managing those types of fish. So I love that 20-pound Gamma Edge fluorocarbon, and I use fluorocarbon direct, and I like to use it direct. In other words, not braid with a leader. I use fluorocarbon direct in this application because it's so easy to handle. It's so easy to handle on the reel. It just flies off. It's so smooth and easy to cast and retrieve. It makes for a really, really comfortable day of flipping and pitching. So that's one of the reasons why I go fluorocarbon direct. The other thing is line visibility. I'm a believer that line visibility is a factor. So if I try to use braid direct, I like to use fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon has much less visibility. It can't be seen by the fish nearly as well as a lot of the other lines, especially braided line. So I really like that. So from a comfort perspective, toughness of the Gamma line, 20-pound test to be able to handle big fish. It's low visibility. I just get a lot of bites. And this is my setup with this is the CR 906 7.6. It's a Carolina rig rod, but guess what? It's excellent at fishing finesse jigs. Let's take this finesse jig down the bank and I'll show you how I work it. Now, one of the things I noticed right away is we've got wood on this bank, and we've got a lot of current. And wood and current is an amazing combination, because the predators are going to set up on the wood or any kind of current breaks. With all this current, they're going to set up on it and ambush. This current is certainly going to bring food. It's going to increase the activity level of fish, and I'm going to want to take advantage of that and fish as many of those current breaks as I can as we work down through here. Now, I'm going to do a couple of things, and this is the really cool thing about a jig, is its versatility. Is on these pieces of cover that are suspended like this, you can see this tree's kind of hanging out over the current. A lot of times fish will suspend right underneath these ends of trees that are hanging out right really in the middle of a body of water, or in this case a river. And so I'll swim the jig past them a lot of times. But right now I'm casting up, I'm kind of hitting the back part of the tree, or the, you know, the eddy, the calm water part of the tree. And I'm using a pitch cast to get up there by the tree. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to back off my spool control and my magnet control on this reel. And the reason why I'm doing that, when I'm flipping and pitching, I want to eventually train myself to be able to fish this with zero controls from the reel. That allows me to get further distance on my pitching and more accuracy, and I can keep the boat closer, or keep the bait closer to the water. What happens when you really crank down the spool controls and the magnets, you have to really push it out there. And a lot of times at the end of the cast, the bait will pendulum up and then it drops and makes a big splash. And that's what we don't want. We want this bait to land quiet. We want it to be able to hit the targets. And getting rid of that spool control is definitely going to be a big factor. But it takes practice, guys. When you take those spool controls off and magnets off, you know, you just can't do that. And for your first time out of the gate, you've got to practice that, because what you'll wind up getting is a lot of backlashes. You get a lot of trouble. So you got to practice, practice, practice. But you can do that at home. You can do that in your garage, out in your backyard. But your goal is to use as little controls on the spool as you can. Now here's something that I want to talk to you about, being as we see a lot of it. I see a lot of current blasted on a lot of this cover, and you know, fishing eddies is a great deal. The eddy is the back of the current. It's where the water's calm, and I see a lot of people make the mistake of concentrating on the eddy. Now it's a good place, right? There's definitely can be fish there, but what I like to concentrate on is the face of the current. Like if this is a tree sticking out and the current's coming this way, okay, I want my jig to land up here in the current face, where the current is bringing food, the predator is hiding in the backwater under that log. And what I find is the dominant predators are on the upstream side. They're on the face of the current. So I love to throw my baits up above cover and let them wash down right into the face of the predators. I think it's a better way to catch more fish. So we come up on a little piece of cover right here, and I'm casting to the upstream side of it, and I'm letting it wash down. Now you'll see me switching hands a lot, and I do that because I was trained young to fish with handles on the right hand side of my reel. Now I'm right-handed, I cast with my right hand, and I reel with my right hand in bait casting equipment. So what that causes me to have to do is I make the cast with my right hand. Now I have to switch into my left hand to make my retrieve. Now, for those of you that are like me that started, fishing with reels on this side, it's what we're forced to do. But I recommend guys that are just starting out, if they're right-handed, get reels with the handle on the left-hand side. It makes it so much easier because you can cast and then not have to switch hands, and you can engage the reel. So I've tried to switch over to the with reel handles on that side, but I found it to be just too uncomfortable, and I'm very comfortable switching hands at this point. But if I had to do it over again, and I recommend for anybody starting using casting gear, if you're right-handed, get reel handles on the left side. If you're left-handed, get them with handles on the right side. It'll make your flipping and pitching go really well. Oh man, that's a nice one. Oh gosh. I can't get him. There he is. Oh, I got him now. Got you. Nice fish on a finesse jig. That's just a high caliber fish. I'm fishing a finesse jig. It's a little jig with a light wire hook, small presence in the water, but man, it can catch bigger fish. Don't be afraid of that finesse jig. I love fishing a finesse. There he goes. I love fishing a finesse jig. I love fishing it on my CR rod. This is my Carolina rig rod. It's a 906 7.6, 7.5 foot rod. I use it for Carolina rig fishing, but I tell you, I love to flip and pitch with it with my finesse jigs. It catches them. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh! Whew! Little finesse jigs. Whew! Don't be afraid. Little bitty baits sometimes can deliver big. Look at the size of that guy. Whew! Gorgeous. Gorgeous fish. Fish in a bridge. Man, you can't go wrong in a river system. When you're fishing a bridge, and I can see the current's trying to carry me into the bridge right now. It's a neck point, right? Current's coming and going. The bridge is going to neck the waterway down. It's going to increase the velocity of the current, and that's where the predators are going to set up and ambush their prey. Man, little finesse jig, 1/2 ounce light wire hook, 20-pound gamma fluorocarbon. I'm using my Carolina rig rod from Cashion rods. I love to use this rod with my finesse jig. It's a 7.5 foot rod. It's the CR 906 7.6. It's a dynamite rod for the light wire, little bitty finesse jig. It doesn't overpower the bait. You don't have to worry about overpowering that light wire hook, and it catches the big ones just like that one. It's a terrific rod. Cashion is an amazing rod company built here in the US with a top-notch warranty program. Guys, go out, check out a Cashion rod. You're gonna love it. I use it every day that I'm teaching and fishing and in tournament scenarios. Incredibly durable, fantastic product. Go check it out. I'm Pete Gluszek from the Bass University for Cashion rods.